The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mage. And before we get into the nitty gritty and the introductions of everybody, I'd like to take a moment to discuss some things that happened and to address an issue that might come up at your table that is very important, and that is the consent form and dealing with communication and making sure that everybody's on the same page so that everybody is having fun at the table. One of the things that I remembered and didn't think about is that one of the players has an issue, a red card, on the no list, body modifications, and coming up with the Fomori, which is the creature that has been following Tom and Abram around. It is an amalgam, a homebrew creation of what I thought Pentex would take if they could find two Farah and just meld them together. Unfortunately, the creature in question does fall under the body modification red card of one of my players, even though I had always thought about it as just the Semitsi flesh crafting. This also is considered the same kind of monstrosity. And so we talked things over, and I just want to make sure that you know that I am not trying to just Deus Ex Machina something that I left as a cliffhanger. I wanted to make sure that everybody's fine at the table, that everybody's having a good time. And so we are going to introduce a creature that I wasn't going to introduce until the next episode, just to make sure that we don't deal and we don't push people into situations that they don't want to be a part of. And so with that, I think we can go into our introductions. I am the Ravenous Archon. My name is Will, and I am very honored and very fortunate to be a storyteller here at McStabber Studios, and these are my players for Season 3.
Shalom. I am Rev Ben Powers. I will be playing Abram Proctor, as he's been dubbed by the other players and some NPC, the Jesus of the homeless.
Hey everybody, I am Relindair, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I'll be playing Lydia Thompson, who is a tantric mage of the Cult of Ecstasy tradition.
Hello, I'm Zeddy. I'm playing Tom Castrogano. You can find me in many places.
And as a player, real quick, I'm sorry, Will. As a player at this table, I want to say Will is an amazing ST, and consent is sexy, y'all. Take that from your static.
For sure. So last we left off, we got to see a couple of the different angles that the people were taking. We got to see Abram introduced to the Church of the First Dawn and matron Evelyn de la Vigne, who is a member of the Celestial Chorus and is invested in trying to save the city's soul for whatever that means. She has asked him to check up on a couple of leads, among them the Bare Minimum Construction Company, which has what I think is the most adorable thing ever, which is a black bear holding up an iron girder, but that's just unbiased. And to also check up on an associate of hers named DB Thatcher. One phone call was dismissive, the other led to a blank slate. Tom found himself kind of taking it easy, and through his mentor, he managed to meet someone named Professor Elias Vilden, who is a character from the second season, and who apparently has been having his apartment building being bought out slowly by the Bare Minimum Construction Company. He has to kind of check in on them and find out why they were buying an apartment. Why would they would want to buy an apartment building that has a small attachment to a ley line? And he was asked to look into it, and he came highly recommended from his own mentor, Professor Brandon Culver. And then we got to see Lydia kind of get straight to the point, find out just the tip of information that she got for the Bare Minimum Construction Company, kind of shot over to their offices, met Manny Garza, who is the person in charge of the day-to-day operations. And after working on his muscular body and his mind with her magic, thanks to her spheres, she managed to get him to put her business off the must-buy list, which he will gladly do, not just because of the happy ending that he got to the massage, but because of the mind sphere that was used to just twist him around her little finger. We left off with them coming out of Lydia's office and coming into full view of this monstrosity having attacked the newly hired receptionist and a couple of the people who were there for the wine and paint night. And as the three of you are kind of girding your loins, trying to figure out what to do about this monstrosity, a howl is heard not just outside, but reverberating inside the room. And then there's another and another, until there's a chorus of howls that fills this once idyllic space. The incense starts to kind of swirl, the air starts to ripple, almost like water in a pool. And you see one large clawed hand about maybe 1.5 feet wide from thumb to pinky come out, and then a second one, a third one, and then a fourth one, and they just dig into this creature and pull it into the nothingness that they have come from. And as it's being pulled out, a gentleman steps almost out as a bit of equivalent exchange is had, and where one creature is being pulled away, this gentleman is coming out. He's got short brown hair, kind of tousled. It's about shoulder length. He's got about 5 o'clock shadow, soft brown eyes. They look like burnt honey. An undershirt that looks like it might be a Queen Night at the Opera shirt. He's got a flannel shirt over it with the sleeves rolled up, pair of jeans, and simple boots. And as he steps out, he surveys the situation. He quickly kind of starts to get people up on their feet and out through the door. And as the door opens and the first few people are being helped out, you can hear a car driving by, and just the chorus of Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone starts to kind of pour in through the open door. And once the people are out, he turns and sees the blood splatter, the 3 dead bodies, 2.5 dead bodies. And he kind of just wrings his hands back through his hair and just stands there for a moment. Woo! This is a mess.
No
Mess.
kidding. Who are you?
Oh, sorry. My name is Matthew. Hi, y'all. I'm sorry about this. We've been following this thing for the last few days. We thought we had lost it for a moment, but once we saw that it resurfaced because of somebody here, we had to take the opportunity to strike.
Dave wanted to strike a little bit sooner, and he kind of looks at the blood and the bodies. This isn't a mess. These people are dead.
Yeah.
And that thing killed them. And if you knew about it, you should have maybe been a little more proactive, don't you think?
One of us alone maybe could have taken it out, but I wanted to be sure that this thing wasn't a monster and wasn't let loose in the city. So I waited for the rest of my pack to come in.
It landed in the rest of the city. These were people from the city here.
I
We
get you.
fought it off once. We could have done it again.
I get you. You all don't smell like normal people. I would like to apologize. The beach isn't really part of our protectorate, so it takes us a bit to get out here. It's not on purpose. Your people and my people, I try to make sure that we don't have any bad blood, no pun intended, given the scene. But
Why was
I'm
it here?
I'll help. One of them, and he points at Abram and Tom. He was hunting one of them.
I look over at Tom.
Things follow me around. That's all I have to say.
Get out.
Okay.
Not knowing who she's talking about, Abram nods and begins heading towards the door.
Same here with Tom.
Yeah, Matt too.
Matt, you stay.
All right.
He kind of, when she says that, he kind of looks back because he doesn't know who this guy is. Ma'am, I'll be outside the door here if you need me.
Thank you. Just give me a moment.
You can take 2. Smiles and goes outside.
Okay.
Without realizing he's doing it, as he's passing the corpses, he kind of crosses himself, an old remembered gesture, and then walks through, obviously very, very shaken by all this. This is not something he's okay with in any way, shape, or form. He's pale. He looks like he might throw up.
Fortunately, Tom has seen this kind of thing before. And he steps out the door.
Oh,
I can barely hear Zeddy.
Fortunately, Tom has seen this kind of thing before. It's not nearly as surprised as everybody else, and he walks out.
Okay. Oof. Matt puts his hands in his pockets.
Matt,
Ma'am,
what are you?
looks around. What you would call a werewolf, ma'am.
Got it. What the hell was that?
That, unfortunately, was something that shouldn't have been. We have a long-standing feud, you could say, with the Pentex Corporation. Wherever they turn up, we tend to come in and fix the destruction that they put not just on the earth, but on people. Two in particular this time. Unfortunately, they got melded together, like some kind of Frankenstein monster.
I get the idea. Do you know where they did this?
I couldn't say. I know that they've got a power plant, that hydroelectric plant that they've installed out on the south end of the beach. So that would be my best guess.
I got you. Well, next and final question. You gonna help me clean up this mess?
I can indeed.
Thank you.
And you see him take off the flannel shirt. You got a mop.
Yep.
Some
And
towels.
she goes and grabs equipment.
He does help you clean up.
Okay.
And he does pull the dead bodies. Like, he asks you if you want me to pull these into our extra dimensional space to get rid of them, or do you want to actually let the police handle them next to kin and all that bullshit?
Honestly, with the weird ass evidence here, it might be best to do it your way.
All right.
I can tell some convincing lies when I need to cover for shit.
Yeah, he pulls out a small, what looks to be a compact. He just kind of flips it open, and he stares at himself for a moment, and then just pulls the bodies into air and just pulls them away into nothingness.
Well, Matt, I'm Lydia Thompson. And no, I'm not like those people you escorted out. And I would say it was a pleasure, but it wasn't. But thank you for your assistance.
Of course. On the way out, he stops next to Tom and Abram.
Abram is shaking, and he's got one of his cigarettes in his hand, and is probably on his second one already.
Okay.
He hasn't broken down or anything, but he's definitely shaken. He's holding it together. He looks the guy up and down. So, again, you could have... I'm not trying to... I mean, maybe I am. Your people knew about these things, and now 3 people are dead because you were waiting to act. And you could have saved these people.
Listen, 3 people are dead, sure, yeah. But this isn't something, we aren't police officers. We act when we can. You gotta understand, this city's on the verge every night of just falling into chaos. Leeches are out of hand for some reason. Most of them just fucking sitting there gathering up out in Coral Gables. So you will have to excuse us because fucking we've got our hands full. So I took the opportunity to strike when I could, when I had my pack with me. Strength in numbers and all that.
Now that we know that this is a possible threat, we can try to protect the people that we need to protect.
Sure. And look, I didn't mean to hold you out as bait. He kind of turns to look at Tom. If it's any consolation, you can have this. And you see him reach into his little um, breast pocket, and he pulls out a small necklace. It is a turtle shell shard that has a leather thong kind of wrapped around it and creating a necklace of sorts.
I
I'm like,
take
"Look,
the item and look down at it.
yeah, man. If you find yourself in trouble again, put this on. Or if you think you're going to be in trouble, put this on. Make sure that it's been worn for at least a full night, that the moon has kind of shone on it for a good night, and you should be protected for until whatever next phase is. If you let it shine on a waxing phase, it will protect you until the waning phase. So, yeah, it's got its use.
So something clicks in Abram's head
Mhm.
that he said that they were gathering the pact to be waiting to act, but then apologized to Tom for using him as bait, which means they were using Tom to lure this thing here. And because of that tactic, 3 people are dead.
Mm.
And Abram is not smart in the ways of the world of darkness. So he hauls off and punches this guy in the face.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
sure you wanna-
flat out cold cocks him.
Hey, guys. There's a lot at stake here and a lot going on, and not all the information's on the table here. I look over at you and I say, understand, there's more going on here than you're probably aware. And I look over at our friend who just joined us and I say, am I wrong? There's a lot more at stake here than just what's on the surface.
I will say that we took off a major chess piece off the board, and you see him kind of crack his neck. The thing could have been more dangerous than it turned out to be.
Well, we saw barrels of very bad stuff in there where in what appeared to be a drain. And it looks like they're pushing this stuff out everywhere, trying to, well, literally taint the environment.
That's what they do. That's Pentex's MO.
So before the conversation happened, what was his reaction when I punched him in the face?
He turned.
As I imagine that might be a conversation changer.
Yeah, he turned to look at you, and you could see that there was a flash of red in his eyes. And you're not sure if it's your imagination or if it was just the adrenaline, but he looked taller for a second. He looked normally where he was just north of 6 feet. He looked like he grew a good couple of inches, like he was 6'4", 6'5" easily. But the second Tom started talking and mentioning that there were bigger things out there, his eyes normalized, and so did his size, it looked like.
So when his eyes flashed red and he started to grow, Abram's nervousness and fear went away. And for just a second, probably the same duration that he was growing and then went back, the nail began to bleed slightly. And then once he returned to his normal size, a nail just once again looked slightly rust covered.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can reach you other than through this necklace?
No, the necklace isn't going to help you reach me at all. No. And you see him, he reaches for his back pocket and he's like, you forgetting my wallet's not part of my kit. Yeah, let me, and you see him knock on Lydia's door, and he kind of opens the door. He's like, ma'am, could I borrow a pen and a piece of paper so I can give these boys a way to reach me?
Lydia goes around to the reception desk and grabs a notepad and a pen, brings it to the door. Here you go.
I appreciate it. And He writes down his name, which is Matthew Graves, and just a phone number.
Thank you. I have a feeling we're going to be talking to you soon.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
takes the notepad and pen back, and I'll be out in just a minute, gentlemen.
And he just, ma'am, again, I apologize for all this.
Thank you. And
So I, of course, do have questions for him,
Yeah.
if I may. I'm going
Yeah.
to say, so I've always had bad things happening around me my entire life. Is that related to what is drawing this creature, or can you tell me some more?
He takes a big sniff of the air around you. And he's like, I'm not the one that should be dealing with you, but you've got a little bit of taint coming off of you.
Well, I
I'd
did
be
walk through a giant vat of this nasty stuff.
I'd be worried about that if I were you, but it's not enough to raise any hairs on the back of my neck.
Any suggestions on purification rituals?
I would say get yourself some Epsom salt, wash yourself in a pool in the light of the full moon for the 3 nights that it's up.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Epsom salts and like swimming in the water.
Yeah, a natural pool of water too, not like a bathtub. Like make sure that you have full view of the moon, that the moon can shine its light on you, and it's a full moon, of course.
The living waters. Salt or fresh?
Either or, doesn't make a difference. Just natural.
How natural does it have to be? Does it have to be something unspoiled, or can it be a city beach?
You could do the beach. That's fine. Yeah, but you're gonna have to be there a while.
Yeah.
Just know that.
Yeah, I understand. Rituals are never 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish they were.
I haven't noticed lately. What phase of the moon are we in?
Right now, I believe it is the gibbous moon.
I don't think that's enough moon, is it?
No, that's a 3/4 moon.
Yeah, I got at least another week then.
A couple days.
Well, thank you. Any other suggestions we should be taking into advisement?
Stay away from Pentex if you're not prepared to handle them.
That's fair. Anything else?
Don't call me for small time shit.
Gotcha. So don't invite you out for donuts. I can appreciate that.
I like donuts, but I prefer.
We can have donuts after this is done.
You sure? As long as there's a steak to go with it.
Oh, of
I don't
course.
mind.
Probably fire up a grill or something. Maybe do a barbecue.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I like mine rare.
I have a suspicion my friend down here is a master at grilling.
So we goes to look, Abram's not there. The fact they were having this heart-to-heart informational chat after everything just kind of not made him sick, but it really made him question a bunch of things, that
Sure.
these people have been dead. He was using him as bait. And now they're having this chat, and that's causing Abram to, have his paladin senses get all screwy.
Mm-hmm.
So he, right about the start of their conversation, once he realized it was going on, he just respectfully knocks on Lydia's, well, I guess door frame now, because the door's not there. Just a quick, quiet, respectful knock.
Yeah, the door's still there.
Oh, then he knocks on the door.
Yeah.
And you actually
Yeah.
see Lydia shutting off lights and heading towards the door, towards you, and she shuts off the lights, has her keys in hand. She opens it. What?
Ma'am,
Yes.
first I want to say my condolences on the loss of your friends. That gentleman, and he kind of gestures over, was apparently using Tom over there as bait to lure it out. So the conversation of them marshaling their forces to attack it in mass seems to be contingent on them using him as a beacon for it.
She just thank you for that. And she steps outside with him, and as she closes the door, she locks it. She looks over at Matt. Don't let me see you again. Tom, I'm sure you can get a cab.
I have no idea where I'm going, but
the church. Yeah. I can give you an address, and she gives him an address.
I need to go for a walk. I will be.
Why don't you take a ride with me?
Ma'am, I can meet you there, but after the stuff I've seen, I need to walk. I need to be alone with my thoughts and process.
Understood. We all have our own paths to walk.
Thank you. He makes sure that she has, she probably already has the address, but he's going to give it to her anyway.
I know where it is, but thank you.
Yeah. And he begins to just walk there. His arcane immediately comes up, all of it, all at once. And he just kind of strolls through the neighborhood, kind of trying to wrap his head around everything that just happened, because the worst thing he's had to do in the last few years is stop some people from beating up some of the guys under the bridge. Now he's fought monsters and talked to shark people, and now 3 innocent people are dead because monsters want to monster. So he's not holding up super okay. But he just begins kind of walking, marshaling his thoughts.
Yeah. And yeah, you start walking. Lydia drives off, and you see Matt kind of looks over at Tom. You gonna join them, or?
I'm walking. I'm gonna take a cab, if you will, towards this, because it does seem like something I need to take a look at as well.
Yeah, sure. Just be aware. Things are rough in the city right now. I'd keep my head on the swivel if I was you.
Usually do.
Leeches are out in full force, man. Like, I've never seen numbers like this before. Something's up.
You say leeches?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a large presence of vampires in this city?
Yeah. Vampires are normally there's maybe 3 dozen. If our numbers, if we keep them in check, we try to keep them to about 3 dozen. But there's just been something going on in the last couple of years that has just got them coming out of the woodwork. I don't know what to tell you, but if we had some idea of what to do and how to help stop this, I would love to let loose on a couple of them.
Well, just depends on what's going on here with this large beacon of well, I don't know, negative energy, I guess is the only way to put it. It seems like it's like mosquitoes are being attracted to this light.
Yeah. Well,
this night light of sorts, if you will.
It's definitely not taking them out. So it's more like the mosquitoes are attracted to some kind of sugar water.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Lord knows I've seen my share of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Size of helicopters down here.
But he extends his hand out to you. It's nice to meet you. Sorry about, again, using you as bait.
Do I sense a firm handshake from this fella?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I suspect we'll be in touch, and hopefully all goes well. We'll have a nice barbecue. I presume yours a little on the rare side?
Oh, yeah. The rarer the better.
Man, as long as it's cow, we could make this work. All right, well, we'll meet then. Very well. We'll be in touch.
And you see him walk down and out to an alley, and then you lose sight of him.
At this point, I'm walking till I find a payphone to call for a cab.
Okay. Lydia turns on the car, and the radio station has Madonna's "Papa Don't Preach."
Yeah,
playing.
she actually pops in a tape that she got from her friend that she helped out on Saturday because he works at a record store, and there's about to be a release next month that they just got in, and he gave her a copy. Pat Benatar starts singing, all fired up.
Nice. Okay.
And she's just tapping the wheel to the rhythm of the song.
Yeah. So you're the first one to get to the church. And you see that it looks like the festivities are over. Things are still kind of laid out. So some of the tenting is still up, some of the stands are still up, but the stuff is being put away. And you see an older lady kind of look over at you, and she nods.
Lydia gets out of the car and walks up. Good evening.
You see her cross her hands, like she just puts her hands together almost in prayer. The light has brought you to us, Miss Thompson. It's good to see you.
Well, something brought me here. Can't guarantee it was the light, but it is a pleasure to see you again, too.
I will let the gentleman know that you have arrived.
Thank you.
And she excuses herself from the helping out to clean. She takes you out to the rectory, and then she does the doorknob trick to let you into the actual node in the church. Inside, you see the same kind of grassy area, but you notice that Professor Vilden is there, Bashir is there, Samantha is there, and so is Daniel.
Good evening. The others will be along shortly.
They all nod, and Bashir kind of pulls a chair out by him.
Lydia sits. Thank you.
Next one to come in is Tom. Tom sees a couple familiar faces. You see Professor Vilden. You see Lydia, and I don't think you've ever met anybody else. So those are the two faces that you have met. And the last one to join is Abram. And once everybody's gathered, you see that there are plans, construction plans for the Biltmore, construction plans for different buildings in the city. There's just this map of Miami, the beach, and Daniel stands up at this point now that everybody's gathered. I would like to apologize, first of all, to several of you. I should have seen this coming a mile away, and for my part, I can only blame my hubris. I thought that we, as a city, were untouchable. Thought that we had it under control, that we could have handled anything that came our way as long as we handled it together. And I was one of the first to shut everyone out. For that, I apologize. I'd like to rectify that now by explaining what I think I've learned of our quarry, Mr. Gaines. I believe that up until the moment of the explosion at the Biltmore, Mr. Gaines was a vampire. After the explosion, something happened that destroyed his body and then rebuilt it from scratch, Avatar included. The first ritual caught me off guard. I will admit to that. The second I was prepared for. Kind of. It was much bigger. This was not a ritual for himself. This was a ritual for others. There were factors that I did not take into account, and as such, I could only save some of the avatar shots that he sacrificed with that second ritual. I fear that he is gearing up for something on a scale that I have never seen before. The numbers don't add up. The amount of energy that he is siphoning from the city doesn't equate the strength of the ritual he did the first time or the second time combined. This is something that he is working on a number of people that I don't think I can stop by myself. And I dare say that even with all of the people here that I've gathered, it will be difficult. I think he means to turn several, and I am lowballing this at 24 of his ilk, but I would put it more in the line of 3 or 4. And that amount of sudden burst of an avatar is going to take a toll on this world. So I'm asking for help.
I think at this moment, Tom would speak up and say, I had a lovely conversation with a werewolf here today who pointed out that there is a group of vampire congregating in the city. They're being attracted like flies or mosquitoes to a nightlight. And I go through and I explain the whole thing as best I can with quantities and such. It seems they're not just doing a few. There's way too many coming to this area. It's going to be bad. This is going to take more than just us. This is going to take probably, we may have to team up with other beings to accomplish this.
What are the assets that we have at our disposal then?
The werewolves say that they will help, but it needs to be dire before they take part, and it needs to be actionable.
The sharks owe us a
Just
favor.
let's say the sharks owe us a favor. I wouldn't be surprised if there are other groups that might be found amongst the Native Americans, maybe to the west in the swamps, because it seemed like they're being gathered together by this entity to make these monstrosities. I don't know. That's just a little bit of information I could gather from what I've seen so far.
More than we had before.
Lydia's eyes are darting around the space and, like, just darting constantly. Her hands are also balled into fists and her knuckles are going white.
Yeah.
He doesn't even, again, it's kind of like a subconscious reflex, but he kind of looks over to Lydia. Ma'am, you all right?
There should be more. Where are the rest? Where's the vice cop? Where's Vasily? Where are the rest?
I reached out to everyone that I could. This is who has answered the call.
Then you obviously need somebody else to reach out. They must not like you.
I've learned this over the last few days, yes.
There were more. There were others. And she goes through describing all the ones she saw fighting the storm.
He sits down. There's it almost what looks to be defeat on his face. And Samantha kind of sits up. I've always I was part of the original crew. I guess you could say that. Cabal circle. I don't know. I tried to reach out to a couple of people, but yeah, they don't. Without any of their avatars, they don't know what they can do. Ricardo's still taking care of his sister. Zhao is back east.
How
Professor
east?
Bilden, she's in Tibet right now. Last we heard. Professor Vilden is here. Mr. Toussaint is here. I mean, Zhao and the Cardinal siblings are the only ones that are really missing from the original Cabal at the Biltmore. We have the matron now, so she's someone new. We have Professor Kaiser at the University of Miami. He can help, so that's two. So we're only missing one more to make up the numbers from.
No. Those
So we could
are the ones.
Abram stands up
Mhm.
and kind of looks around. I don't know any of you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what this is. And he kind of points around at the node. But it sounds like a lot of people are going to die. A lot of people that aren't involved in this. And even if it means going down swinging, we have to do something. I can't let the same things that happened in her office happen to my people. You know, I can't let it happen to some poor guy and his wife, kids walking down the street being a victim in all this. So even if it means I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot, I got my nail and I've got my gusto. So just point me in a direction or I'll start walking and I'll find one. Seems to be the right way I get through most ways in life. But even if we're not at full strength, and he looks over at Lydia, I don't know what that means. There's enough of us here that enough of you seem to know what you're talking about, where you at least can do something. So we're either going to do nothing, and people are going to die because we're too scared to do something. We're going to do nothing because we don't think we can win, and then people are going to die. We can do something, and then we all die, but at least we died doing what's right. Or we win. So out of those four options, I'm shooting for number one, but even number two is better than the other two.
Professor Vilden sits up. If not you, Daniel, then I'd recommend that we let the young lady take point on trying to get everyone back together. It doesn't take a master of entropy to see that her threads are the ones tied most tautly to everyone. And you see Daniel kind of pull his glasses off for a moment, scratch his eyes, and then kind of put the glasses back on, and he kind of looks at Lydia for a moment, and he nods. You're right. I didn't see it before.
Funny the things you miss.
Insight is 2020.
Always.
Is this something that you would feel comfortable with, Miss Thompson? I know that you and I don't see the same page from the same angle.
Three people were just brutally murdered in my space tonight. 3 people were murdered 3 years ago, tied to me. I don't know, Daniel. What do I need?
Reaches into a pocket and pulls out his pack of homemade cigarettes and just kind of gestures. Might help.
That shit'll kill you.
Still breathing, ma'am. And he lights one up.
Daniel nods after a moment. All right.
What I need is the ones who are causing this death to cease existing. Can that be accomplished?
With vulgar magic, yes, I think it is.
I think the time for coincidental might be over.
I have, and he stands up and he kind of just shakes himself. I have one loose ritual that I've worked out. But I don't have the mastery of time for it. But by all accounts, the people that I've talked to, the other hermetics that have worked with me, given the situation, could work. But this is something that would destroy the mage that undertakes it.
I'll do it. Zero hesitation.
Yeah, they all look at you. Daniel cocks his head. Do you have the mastery of time needed for this?
No, but I reckon that if I'm understanding anything about what you're saying, whoever is casting this thing you're doing is going to be offering up their life. Well, what if someone were able to channel theirs into them enough where it didn't cost them their life?
A conduit.
Basically, they can use you like a battery. I'll do it.
But change the parameters of the ritual. I'll need some time to work on that.
I have
I
one
like it.
for you, if I might.
Hmm.
So, from a scientific perspective, it is possible to stack forces and energies in such a way that the amplitude of an individual one by itself needn't be so great. You get a resonance, if you will. Would it be possible to generate a casting along those same lines using geometrics to cause a multiple resonations along those lines? Do you understand what I'm saying?
He nods. If it were a matter of energy, yeah, we could definitely create a cascade of sorts. But
There's
this is
things you can do with foci too.
right. But this is pulling on the threads of time. I'm
Why time?
What is
I want
yes.
one specific event to go a different way.
Oh, you want to do time that way. I see.
Hmm.
Are there any other alternatives to trying to change the past?
That's why my plan is a last resort.
Because my understanding is when you start altering time, there are very bad ripples.
Mhm.
It doesn't. It's a cascade event. It won't just do just the one thing.
Right. Everything
Before
changes.
before my avatar was shattered, I had the understanding of time to have accomplished this. The shards that I pieced together for myself did not give me the same knowledge.
Makes sense. Yes. Is there any way other than time? Because that's a hammer.
Hmm.
We need a scalpel.
A
I
hammer
mean-
or a scalpel, it's still going to get broken. That's the goal,
Well-
is to break it.
What is? I mean, are we trying? I just coming into this conversation, so I don't know what the desired outcome here is exactly. I mean, are we trying to just? You're just. It sounds like you're trying to change something that happened in the past, as opposed to destroying what exists now directly.
This is
Storyteller,
why.
I would like to
Mhm.
roll my arete for prophecy.
Ooh. Okay.
And that is 2 successes.
All right. What are you trying to see?
Trying to see if this ritual is going to be truly our only alternative. Or if there's another way.
The
I'm trying to
ritual with
basically get it,
time?
yeah, with time.
Okay.
Looking forward, basically. Not impacting, just looking.
So you sit down.
Already
kind
sitting
of-
by Bashir.
Yeah. So you kind of sit back, you start to find the thread of whatever choices are made to go down that path.
And Lydia's eyes actually stop darting. They kind of focus off in the distance.
There's 4 different paths that lead to you taking this last resort. One has Abram disappearing and just being erased from all of time. The second and third have Ricardo actually stepping up and being the one that is destroyed in the time stream. And the last one has Daniel. And in all 4 of them, it's all based around stopping gains from ever being embraced.
Excellent. Daniel, are you truly a leader, or do you just wish to rule?
I thought I was cut out for leadership. Clearly, I'm not.
Are you willing to sacrifice for your people?
If I have to, of course. I have.
You should
sins
be
to
the
make up for.
conduit.
All right.
Ma'am, I don't want to see anybody else.
Your noble sacrifice attempt is truly amazing.
picking up your sarcasm.
I am fluent in it. I am. Your mistakes, while not the direct cause, exacerbated some things, Daniel. It's time to take ownership of that.
I understand. I'll need then some of the other people. I need to see who has the shard of my avatar that has my understanding of time.
I will pull the threads.
Very well. This is understandably the
Last resort.
last resort.
Last resort.
Yeah.
We have about a 1 out of 4 chance that we're going to have to land here.
25.
Mhm.
It's not terrible.
But it would be noble of you. Truly.
You see Samantha just kind of put her hands on the table gently, and she's just like, okay, so cupcakes?
Sorry, I just cleaned up a lot of blood and viscera. I don't have an appetite.
He nods. The matron kind
Abram
of
pulls out a small canteen,
yeah.
water.
Yeah. The matron just kind of looks at everybody. If you are done, I will need to close up.
Odds and starts heading towards the door.
Guys, before we all leave, we should probably come up with some means of contacting each other.
The matron just kind of looks around. The church is more than open to all of you. This could be your staging ground.
Thank you,
Will
matron.
you serve as a paging system then as well?
I have the spheres for it, sure.
Very well. Then we will be in touch with you. You can page the rest of us if a problem were to occur.
I believe Mr. Toussaint is also skilled. And you see him kind of pull out a voodoo doll. And he's like, yeah, I can, but it's a little prickly.
Very well. It sounds like we have a plan then.
Yeah, she lets everybody out into the courtyard. You can see that it's already been cleaned up. It only felt like a few minutes in the node, but it looks like a few hours have passed.
You know, it seems like there's got to be a way for us to stockpile some additional energies.
Sure, there's places that can be done. There's the beach, which we have access to now. But I don't know if this is gonna. I don't know. Got a bad feeling about all this. But it's kind of hard to have a good feeling about it now, isn't it?
Preach into the choir, Abram. And Lydia walks off to her car.
Okay.
Because she's got strings to pull.
Yeah. And as
Ma'am?
everybody,
Kind of moves over to her real quick as she's getting to her car.
yeah,
Yes.
If you need something else to focus on, we could sure use some help here at the shelter. The parade's coming up, and there's some people here that might need a friendly hand as far as getting them fed and getting their spirits up. He had a lot of emotion. Powerful streak of anger. So I imagine you've got a lot else in there.
I do.
These people could really use it if you have time.
I appreciate the offer, and I have a lot of work to do, but I will try my best.
No obligation, ma'am. Sorry about your people.
Thank you. Glad somebody was. She gets in her car.
Yep. And as everybody's separating for the evening, I think this is a good time to go to break. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Hey.
Woo! So, we're gonna handle a little bit of an interesting bit of conversation. Before anything else, you'll notice that Abram looks a little different because Ben has decided to actually role play out the conversation that Lydia and Vasily are going to have instead of trusting me with the Russian accent that I have prepared for Vasily.
It's not just accent. You're terrible with personality.
I just all I know of Vasily is he wants a sandwich, and if he doesn't get sandwich, he starts to yell about vodka and then about the band and the DJ not playing the right music. That's it. This
Everything
is
about you is wrong.
All right, so we pick up the next day, or that evening, if you think Lydia would have reached out.
Where was Vasily at the time?
Vasily would probably still be in the limelight.
Yeah,
in the late hours.
she would call over to the club.
Okay. So the phone rings in Vasily's office. It has been a rough night. It's supposed to be one of these dumb bands that you thought was going to be in there, but it's actually one guy sitting up at a turntable who calls himself Wild and Rambunctious.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And he has just been not even being a good DJ, he's just playing two songs at the same time.
Sasha, do me a favor.
Peeks his head in. Yeah, what is it?
All right, two things. First thing, fire him. Second thing, I want you to take your face and I want you to ram it into a wall twice. These decisions you've made when I'm gone have been shit. People, attendance is down and my head is killing me.
Oh, but he was free, Vasily. His sister's cousin.
Sasha, I understand that. What have I told you about Think? It was a mistake for me to go on lam for a little while. The federal government is being asshole, and I figured I could leave you in charge for 3 fucking days to see to my operation, and all you've done is aggravate me and make our patrons go away with your shitty taste in music.
A waitress peeks her head in. There is phone call for you, Vasily.
Right. Natasha, do me a favor.
She nods.
Number 1, send Colin here. I'd appreciate it. Number 2, I see you are holding a serving tray. I want you to hit Sasha 3 times.
She does, without hesitation and without question.
Good job, baby. I appreciate you. Did they say who was on phone?
It is woman. Lydia.
Of course it's woman.
She nods.
Did woman have name?
Lydia, I think he said.
Lydia. Oh, it's been a while. Very well. Send call through. I will talk to Lydia.
Yeah, and you see Sasha holding his arm where she hit him. You still want me to get rid of Boris?
Yes, I want you to get rid of men on stage. Put on Robert Palmer, Simply Irresistible, on repeat for a while. I love that song.
Okay. I was going to put on that new Tarzan Boy song. It's very catchy.
You can play that after. I actually like that song.
Okay. I'm glad that we are on the same page now.
Hate you.
Closes the door, and you see, the second the door closes, you hear the phone ring.
This is Vasily. To whom do I have pleasure of speaking?
Of course it's Vasily. It's Lydia.
Lydia, dearest of all my friends, how are you?
Oh, I'm not even going to lie to you, so I won't say anything. But I'm going to tell you that I could
You
really.
can lie to me. Lies are the currency upon which the commerce of friendship is built.
Of course. But really, I'm going to need some help. You think you could help
You
a
need
girl
my
out?
help. Yes, do you need more grenades?
Highly likely. Might need some
Ooh.
other accoutrements as well. Yeah, we're going to need some stuff and might need you too. I'll buy you dinner.
You know, I do like dinner. I mean, Vasily, he can buy his own dinner.
I know.
It would be nice change of pace for a woman to buy dinner for him. For
Exactly. And who can resist my company?
Oh, Lydia, I love how you subtly manipulate me with your charm and your flattery, attempting to get my attention. I hate that I'm so easily read by you. It is terrible.
That's why we get along, dear.
Yes. So, Lydia, in the effort of kind of saving time here,
yes.
Why do you think I need to get involved in anything? I hate these assholes who are in this city. The only reason I answered the phone is because it was you.
If you want to protect what's yours, you want to talk about it with me.
It is compelling argument. I do like what's mine. It makes me happy.
I know you do.
Very well. We shall meet.
Let's talk.
When do you want to meet? Where do you want to meet?
Tomorrow night, and she gives him a restaurant in South Beach.
South Beach. Good address.
Mm-hmm.
Very well, Lydia. Until I see your enchanting face once more, I shall dream of it and picture it in my mind. I have a very vivid imagination.
Happy to be your dream girl, darling. Have a nice night. And she hangs up.
He smiles to himself, clangs his vodka, and kind of bops his head along to Tarzan Boy because it's a banging track.
Baltimore had a good song. One hit wonder. But yeah, so you can go ahead and take off the Vasily coat and come back for Abram. We're gonna find Tom the next day, I think. What is going through his mind? What do you feel?
Well, I feel like there's a lot of the story that he isn't knowing what's going on, and he's trying to figure out alternative means of attacking the situation just from the limited amount of information. I mean, he's hearing there's a vampire that's no longer a vampire. You know, that's a mage now, and there's a group of vampires, and then there's werewolves, and there's just a whole lot going on that he's trying to research out.
Yeah.
And understand, what all is going on in the city. What other allies or resources can we bring to bear? And of course, he's going to talk to his mentor about it and ask why he's not helping out.
You call your mentor, and you hear him just kind of taking a long drag of what could be a cigarette or what could be a doobie. He's like, Tom, how can I help you?
Professor Calver, are you aware of what's going on in our city?
And every time that you use my professional name, it brings me down.
Yeah, it's appropriate here, though.
Be brought down?
Yes.
I'm going to need some stronger stuff then. Hold on. You
hear
the phone drop.
Clunk.
You can just hear him rustling about. You hear the chick of the lighter. Phone picks back up. Okay. I got some strong stuff now. What are we doing?
All right. So imagine, if you will, every dark and scary concept aligning against us. And by us, I mean Miami.
Okay, so it's not like you and me.
No, I mean you and me too.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Almost explicitly you and me. We're the first in the chain.
Oh, that's the worst place to be in.
Yeah, you remember that hotel that went boom a while back?
Yeah.
Well, apparently there was something going on with the boom. And, well, we're on a telephone line. Maybe I shouldn't tell you too much over the line, but some bad things went down, and yeah, it's the kind of stuff you hear and you see in movies. That kind of bad stuff. Monsters.
That this is some heavy shit to be dropping on me at this time of the morning.
Yeah, well, the
Tom.
thing is, the team, the band, if you will, is getting back together, and you weren't there. And we need every instrument.
I mean,
Any chance you come out for practice? For the band practice?
are you involved with Daniel? Because that guy's an asshole.
Yes, he is an asshole, and he gives way too little information for us to make informed decisions. But what I'm hearing, we're running out. I mean, there was some divination going on, and it looks like we're running out of possibilities.
All right.
So we need the extra. We need you to break. You need to bring your sax. Bring your sax, man. We need you. We need you to do some solo work here.
Last time I brought my sax, I got my kids. So,
well, maybe you'll get some more kids this time, because we need some extra instruments on this band. It's full reggae, man. Full reggae.
all right. Jesus, let me get my head straight for a moment here. So, what does Daniel want with all of us? Like, why is he getting all of these people?
He wants a larger orchestra, more people in his pit, to make a bigger, louder song.
I don't want to be in another man's pit, man. Come on, you got to use better words.
Okay. The orchestra needs extra instruments. It's not the same with a 12-piece, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
The brass needs more brass instruments.
All right.
String section's too thin.
Yeah. You are really enjoying this musical
Well,
analogy.
I do play on the weekends, or did you forget about that?
You still do that?
Yeah,
I thought that wasn't pain.
it isn't.
You need to stop then.
That freaking club they want to pay me in drinks, and even then they're watered down. But I digress. I don't need to go there. So yeah, if you can come out, and if you know anyone else,
Oh my God.
we're gonna need the bodies.
I mean, Daniel's involved, so that automatically like puts people on
I
the wrong
know.
side.
Have you heard of Lydia?
Like a singer, or
Yeah. There's this gal Lydia. She's taking care of things now. She's in charge.
oh, I mean,
Daniel's answering to her.
that's a step in the right direction. I mean,
She seems to have her head screwed on straight.
all right. Let me see what I got on my schedule. Let me pull out the old Rolodex. When you hear a knock on his door, like, hold on, and he puts the phone on the desk. This time it's not just dropped, it's actually placed. And you hear very soft sound of just like, Professor Culver? And he's like, yeah, how can I help you guys? Oh, I'm from the Department of Special Affairs. If I could just have you step outside for a moment. He's like, yeah, of course. What is this about, officer? And you hear the door close.
I'm guessing I'm not going to hear from him again.
I don't know, but how long do you want to wait before you hang up the phone?
I'll give him a few minutes, because this isn't long distance, and that was expensive in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. So it was. But yeah, you sit on the phone for like maybe 5 minutes, and you hear the door open. Some steps come over, and then you hear the phone pick up, and then the dial tone.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a ritual to look into what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go ahead and set up for that now.
Okay.
So I'm going to put that together and start trying to figure out what happened to my friend.
Okay. How are you going to attack this problem?
Well, I'm going to use correspondence in time.
Hmm. Okay.
And
That's
I'm
a-
by myself, so it shouldn't be too terribly vulgar, I'd imagine.
It should not be terribly vulgar, but it is still vulgar because
Because I'm me?
you're peeking into the past. Hmm. We'll say it isn't too terrible. You don't have spheres higher than 2. I'll be benevolent this time around. Go ahead and roll your Arete, difficulty 5.
3 successes, all 3 dice.
3 successes. I do see that you have some paradox that you saved up for me.
Yes.
So let's see if we get to bleed some of that for you.
Let me roll my 3 die for that.
I got it.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So you roll your stamina to try and soak 3 successes. You're going to bleed all 3 of it.
Well, I only have 2 die, so that's not going to end well.
It's not.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
I got 1 success, so I can take 2.
So you take 2 bashing damage as your pattern tries to adjust itself to being part of this paradigm all over again. It is unpleasant. Your body is racked with pain. You can feel what feels like your ribs being broken and then being set again.
Ow!
But
I never get used to that. But what am I gonna do?
yeah, you got rid of your paradox. Clean slate, baby. Time to start earning some more.
More of a bruised slate, honestly. So what happened? What did I see in my casting?
You look back, you can see him on the phone with you. You hear the knock. You see him get up and go over. And there are 2 gentlemen when he opens the door that have the typical government haircut, just black slicked hair. They have sunglasses that are tucked into their breast pocket. They're both in immaculately simple and clean black suits, white shirts, black tie, no vest.
Do I see what kind of gun they're carrying?
Doesn't look like they're carrying a gun. But
That's
one
unusual.
of them does reach into their inside pocket, pulls out what looks to be a bifold wallet. There is a badge of some kind, but when you look at the ID, all you see is the pattern.
That's what I suspected. So he's been taken off the board by somebody.
It looks like it because you see them having the conversation where they like to talk to them. They're talking about special affairs, and the second he closes the door, you see them take him outside to a car, simple black Cadillac. Windows are tinted. Inside, you see just the outline of the door because everything inside is just pattern.
Am I able to use Prime Sense on this casting? I don't think I can.
No, because we needed to weave that into the
it's too
initial
late.
cast. But yeah, you see him get into the car. They close the door, and then one of them nods at the other, and they go back into the office. And that's when you see them hang up the phone.
I have intel now that I need to gather. Great. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to reach out through other avenues to figure out what's going on with these guys.
And that's when you hear a knock at your door.
I use Prime Sight.
Okay. Through the door, you can see the outline of what looks to be this muted but still colorful aura. But it's just unlike natural auras that look like a miasma, that look like just like this cloudy, very nebulous thing that sits around you. Like, this is very patterned. It's almost like the old sound levels on a radio. Like they kind of go up and down, but they're very scientific, very methodical.
I see. I don't know if I have enough background to be able to interpret that.
Yeah.
I think seeing what I'm seeing, I'm going to go out the window onto the fire escape.
Okay. And as Tom is on the lam now, we're going to turn over to Abram. What has he been doing since last night's meeting?
Well, he's been doing a lot of thinking.
Hmm.
He went for another of his walks, and he ended up down by the water. I know the parade is coming up soon, so everybody's in pretty high spirits. They are excited. A lot of them are just getting back from helping out at the kitchen. So he's at the moment kind of closing his eyes and letting their happiness kind of filter into him. And at the same time, it's tempered with the knowledge that they could all be dead soon if we don't do something to stop it. But before that starts to overwhelm him, he kind of shakes his head and smiles, and then goes over to the fire pit with everybody and starts handing out beer and just listening, not talking, just listening to their stories and laughing and smiling and realizing that sometimes you don't have any control over what happens to you, and the best thing you can do is make the most of the time that you have.
Yeah. All right. So you guys drink into the night. Tuesday morning comes around. Where is he the next day? Where is he on Tuesday?
He's probably either helping to set up at the church, or he doesn't want to like call Lydia and say, "Hey, I understand you're down 3 people. I have some friends here that are looking for work," because that'd be opportunist and kind of scummy. So instead, he's going to. I mean, yeah, the parade's coming up. That's really where a lot of the focus is.
Yep.
If there's also been any recent damage, or if anyone's got a problem in the camp itself, that will kind of take priority as he rebuilds or tries to help out whoever has an immediate issue. Unlike everybody else, he doesn't have any grand contacts or resources to call on to help in the war of Miami. He usually just brings himself and whatever power seems to have latched itself onto him. So
you see that as you're helping out, you're doing construction work, you're helping with Tent City. There's a moment where you kind of zone out. You're at a table. You notice that you don't have your typical flannel. You don't have anything on, honestly. Like you're looking around, you're completely nude. And as you look to one side, you can just see people talking to each other, all of them kind of looking in your direction. They're also nude. On the other side, you see the same thing. People are talking. There's a big banquet on the table in front of them. They're nude. One of the people has his back to you. But you notice both sides, they just have food, they have drink, they're gregarious, they're enjoying it. But the area in front of you is barren. And then across from you, you see the Son of God sit down. Hands have holes in them.
The Son of God as he's depicted in the art, or the nice Middle Eastern fella I talked to in the desert?
No, this is white Jesus.
I don't believe in white Jesus.
White Jesus is a jerk.
I know. I know I'm dreaming. So I kind of, and this is just like swimming in the pond back home. So if there's women present, he will attempt to cover his Godhammer in modesty. Otherwise, he's just gonna kind of listen to what's going on.
Yeah. And you see White Jesus sit down in front of you, and he holds his hands out to you. You can see the holes in the palms. You can see the pierced flesh from where he was forced to wear the crown of thorns. Typical depiction, though. He's got the white robe with the red robe over it. He's got the kind of one shoulder slump look, and he just smiles at you through his bearded visage. You are troubled, Abram.
You could say that.
How can I help?
A blanket? Maybe a cloth of some kind?
You are all my children. You shouldn't feel modest.
Why are you wearing a robe, sir?
Would you like me to take it off?
I'm just saying, if you're presenting yourself as everyone being your children, it would be a damn sight better if you didn't start this whole scene off in a position where you're better than everybody else.
You're right. And he stands up and takes off his robes. And now you have a naked white Jesus in front of you.
Exactly what I've always wanted. I would like to announce that I am no longer part of the cast. I have won. And this has been great playing with McStabber Studios. I no longer need to play with them either.
You got what you wanted this whole time?
Naked white Jesus. That's all I've ever wanted.
Naked white Jesus.
So, all right,
on the bingo card.
Yep, back to scene. White Jesus. Do I have the nail?
Yeah.
Kind of looks at it for a second. So why am I here? Are you looking to take this back?
No, it found its way to you, Abram. You're its guardian now.
You're a lot different than I thought you'd be. Not like the other fella I met.
Would you prefer I go back to that?
It would be.
Is
it would be better. It would be better than the fiction that we're seeing right now.
Okay. And he puts his hands on the table. He stands up, and as he takes his full height, you see that everything is replaced. The whole scene. You're back on the mountaintop plateau. The bush is burning. And you see that he is Middle Eastern Jesus. He is the dark-skinned, wild-haired, actual Jesus.
So Abram's now getting used to this particular dream that he keeps having. Mm-hmm. So he kind of smiles to himself, closes his eyes, and he pictures himself back at the homeless camp with him and Jesus just wearing jeans, t-shirts, and flannels near a fire pit drinking a beer.
Nope. The scene changes to exactly that.
All right. This is a little bit better. You want one? And he hands him a Heineken.
You see him put the bottle top into his hand, and you hear the pop as he uses the hole to pop the top of the beer.
That right there is a neat trick. Excellent. All right. So now that we're a little bit more comfortable and we're not standing on ceremony, what's going on?
Creatures that have been removed from my grace are attempting to destroy your city, Abram. They're not going to do it on purpose, but they will do it.
And who are these creatures?
Your films call them vampires.
Right. Sure, of course we'd have those too. Seen werewolves and people that can do magic, and it's been a really weird last few days.
The children of Cain are unfortunate.
Cain had kids.
Well, the offspring of Cain in this manner. After his curses were passed down, his progeny are unfortunately trying to do something to fix the wrong that has been cast upon them. This is your chance, Abram. You can stop them, or you can help people leave the city. But there's no in between.
If I help these people leave, what are my chances of saving them?
What were Moses' chances?
Pretty good, since God had his back.
I have yours.
I don't know, my friend. So far, you're a dream with a couple holes in his hands and a penchant for showing up in deserts. I don't truck much with the Almighty these days. If I stay and fight, what are the odds I'm going to be able to? And don't say Daniel against Goliath.
He simply picks up a rock and puts it in your hand.
So I can either be Moses and lead my people out of here, or I can pick up a rock and hope for the best.
Paths are not easy.
What would you do? I feel like that's a question you don't get much. You get why you don't do stuff, and you probably get how could you let this happen? But has anyone ever asked you what you would do if you had a choice?
No. I'll counter with two questions of my own.
Hold on. He takes the beer and grabs another sip just in case these are tough questions.
Mm-hmm. I think the first question that I have is, what do you think I would do?
I think a bunch of fellows got together a few thousand years ago and came up with a story about a good guy. And people read that story and put their own spin on it and gave him an excuse to be assholes for the most part. But I think that you would do whatever you thought was right.
My second question then is, what do you think I'm expected to do?
As I recall, you were expected to look after the weak, show people a better way, and to die for the sins of man. I don't really see how there's a way of doing both. I always thought you got kind of a raw deal in that respect. I think you would have done a lot more good if you were able to stick around and teach instead of getting nailed up there and told that everybody was suddenly going to get a fresh start. I mean, look what people did with it. He kind of gestures to the city with his beer bottle.
Yeah. What if I told you that you can look after the weak and do the right thing?
I'd say that's what I've been trying to do every day of my life.
He clinks his bottle to yours and he's like, and keep doing that, Abram. Keep doing that.
Didn't answer my question, though.
And you hear a familiar voice from the camp. Abram, you zoned out?
Kind of looks around. I'm assuming my Middle Eastern drinking buddy isn't here anymore.
No, gone. The beer that you had is gone as well. You are in mid cutting of a board with a saw. You're just like standing there.
Yeah, man. Guess a little hot today.
You want me to get you some water?
Nah, I can get it. Hey, Juan, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, man.
So say you had a choice.
You
could either take everybody you loved, all your friends, get them to safety.
Okay.
Or you could try to fight someone who would more than likely kill you, but you could save everybody. One way is guaranteed, the other way is a maybe. And if you don't do it right, your friends and family are going to die along with everybody else. What do you think the right call would be?
Hey, bro, I'm not a fighter, so I'm going to have to go with the first option.
Let's say you could fight.
Like Bruce Lee?
I was thinking more Cassius Clay, but Bruce Lee's fine. Like Superman, if you're into that kind of thing.
Okay. Then yeah, I'd have to fight if I was Superman.
All right.
Great power and all that.
But what if you were Bruce Lee?
Then I would fight a little bit. I wouldn't like just break down doors or anything, but I would fight smartly.
Good answer, Juan.
Is there like a
Tell you
title,
what,
like
man,
a team of death? Like, do I get to fight Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Nah, man, I don't think you'd win that one.
I could beat up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar if I was Bruce Lee.
Well, if you're Bruce Lee, maybe, but not you know what? Here, hold this board for me. I'll get us a water, and I'll take over for you when I get back.
Okay, yeah. And you see him start to finish the sign that you were doing.
He goes back and grabs a bottle of water. Is the nail with it?
Yeah.
Is there blood on it?
No.
He kind of shrugs then and grabs a bottle of Evian for Juan, one for himself, and he goes back to working.
Okay. And as you go back to work, we find Lydia the next morning. It's Tuesday, the 28th. What do you think she's waking up to? Would it be something like Shaka Khan's I Feel For You, or like more slower like Stevie Wonder's Part-Time Lover?
Actually, I think she'd be waking up to something. I think it'd be Richard Marx. It don't mean nothing.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I'm here for Richard Marx.
Yeah. She has a few ideas on people, especially ones.
Anybody else besides Vasily the night before?
She might have actually placed a call to the one that mentored her to see if he could look for the one supposedly in Tibet.
Okay.
He's not officially a mentor anymore, but they have an association. So she might have been, and due to the time difference, him in Thailand and her where she is, it would have been daytime for him when she called. Then when she got up in the morning, when she went to head out, she basically was like looking around the place like, where the hell's Robbie? He went out with some of the people from the wine and paint and never came back. Well, shit, I guess you guys are going to have to cover phones in between people. And then she heads out and she actually heads to the police station.
Okay. The one there on the beach, or? Is she going into the city?
She's going into the city because Vice is going to be in the city.
Yeah. So you're looking for...
She doesn't know his name.
Oh, that's right.
But she can go saying she needs to speak to a Vice cop about Daniel.
About Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to write a police report about Daniel doing something?
She wants to talk to a Vice cop about Daniel. She's
Okay.
not going to give a report while she's there. She will only speak to a Vice cop about it.
Okay. You don't have entropy.
Mm-mm.
You can't use that to help you.
No, but she is stacked in freaking charisma. As a matter of fact, she's got a specialty of captivating.
Okay. Let's see her do a charisma.
A
And I'll
charisma
say-
persuasion?
Persuasion, sure.
Okay. Or do we have persuasion? I don't think we have persuasion. I think it's going to be
No.
something else.
Expression.
Expression? I'll do expression.
Yeah.
Yep.
A performance too, if you're really laying it on thick.
If you're
Oh.
trying to manipulate him, it'd be subterfuge.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got that too, but I don't want it to be too... Well, you know what?
Hmm.
Yeah, let's go performance on that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to
Okay.
spend a willpower to make sure I get at least one success.
All right. He's not going to be too dismissive of you, so I won't say it's going to be more than difficulty 6.
Okay. And with using my specialty of captivating with this roll, do I get to re-roll 10s?
You do.
Okay. Just a sec. That is 4 successes, actually 5 with my willpower. So she just says, look, I don't want to give any names, but I've got some information. When you mention to the Vice Department this person's name, the right cop's going to contact me. I've got information on Daniel Thatcher.
Let me kick this upstairs. Are you going to wait around or
Mm,
you want?
she actually
your phone
drops off a
number?
business card and says, the right cop can call me or reach me there.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you see him call somebody over to cover for him, and he immediately goes up to
And she heads
whoever
out.
Vice is.
Yep.
All right. What's your next target?
Who are the others she needs? Refresh my memory, Esty.
You would need Chuck Hume.
She doesn't know any tie to him yet.
No,
So it's either going to come from this cop or it's going to come from Vasily.
correct.
She is meeting with Vasily in the evening. Any others?
And then just Anita, John, and Alistair.
Okay, so she's going to place a call to Anita. Does she know where the others are?
Anita would probably know where Alistair is.
Okay, John may be a lost cause.
Yeah.
She may tell Professor Vilden to try to reach out to John.
Vasily might be.
Might know him too.
connected. Yeah.
True, because they seem to have a history. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. So she'll place a call to Anita during the day before she goes out to meet Vasily, just to let her know. And if she knows where her other friend is, to see if they can swing by.
Yeah, she tells you that Alistair, she's also not in the city,
Mhm.
but the Alistair is in Chicago right now.
I need y'all's help
Okay.
desperately.
Yeah, I'll make my way down.
Thank you.
And then she gives you Alistair's phone number.
Okay. And I'll place a call to Alistair and tell him basically the same thing, that she needs his help desperately.
Okay.
And she can hook him up with a new release cassette too.
Oh, that gets his attention. And you hear him banging on what sounds like some hollow cable, and he just yells out, "Hey, Roscoe, I'll be back in a few days," and just hangs up the phone.
All right. So she'll talk with Vasily later this evening and possibly get him to reach out to Chuck and maybe John. And I think that pretty much covers pulling strings.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you want to grab your Vasily coat and have this in person, or do you want to?
Of course he does.
To.
He's theatrical. Of course he does.
Because I can do the Vasily accent. Please bring sandwich, Sasha, and slap self.
I will say Lydia is wondering where the hell Bashir is with his fucking chickens.
He's working. He's working.
I mean, she hooked him up with a place to get a discount. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. The matron is definitely doing some stuff. Kaiser's doing some stuff. Bilden is dealing with his issue. And Sam's really the only the one running around trying to figure out how to fit in. So she just kind of hangs around with Daniel. You said that you were meeting him on South Beach somewhere?
I don't know. Pick a restaurant for me.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Nice place, not overly expensive.
Yeah.
Because, Lydia ain't Miss Moneybags.
No. I feel like there might be somebody who interrupts this conversation, so I'm just trying to make sure that you're in the area.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Lydia and Vasily.
She actually gets there early to be at the table waiting for him.
What a power play.
That's okay. Vasily was there 45 minutes before the date, so he could already be in the seat.
We actually arrive at the same time. Oh, Vasily.
Lydia,
we think
I see that you are punctual.
Of course. I see we have that in common.
We do so much in common. We are both forward thinkers. We are both emotionally manipulative. We have a lot of same enemies. It's good.
It's good.
Plus, we are both devastatingly attractive.
Well, thank you.
Da, he's okay. Vasily, he just stayed obvious.
Well, I wanted to tell you that I definitely would like your help. There was something you told me a few years back that you wanted. And I think I might have arranged it.
Vasily was in a different place in his life. He's decided since then to accept certain natural gifts with which he has been given. He no longer requires special pills. He doesn't need them. He's comfortable with himself.
Good. I'm glad. I wasn't talking about pills. I don't deal in that.
I was going to say, I read the ones in back of magazine, and let me tell you, I got ripped off. Let us grab table. There should be a conversation over wine and oysters.
Absolutely. And so they go sit down.
You like oysters?
I do, actually.
No, they are potent aphrodisiac. Of course you like them. You seductive minx. We have seen. It's good fun.
Yes. And we go ahead and place our order for our drinks and our appetizers. And
so what is this thing that I forgot that I said to you that you need my help with?
That you wanted someone taken care of?
You'll have to refresh my memory, Lydia. There's
Daniel.
so many people I'd like to see. Is it the same Daniel I'm thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you come to Vasily with Christmas present, and it's not even December.
Well, I expect a gift in return, which will be your assistance.
His fine gift. How... He kind of looks around for a minute. Sorry, I occasionally have authorities listening to conversation. What percentage odds we're going to get to murder him?
What if he does it for us?
Then it's not as satisfying, but suppose there's less evidence that way.
Exactly.
Let me guess, you talked him into doing something...
Noble.
I was going to say fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Noble is by way for stupid. Vasily knows this.
So yeah, I did. We'll see. He thinks he has a chance of not having to do it, but he's agreed to do it if it requires it.
Lydia, if it means a chance for us to kill Daniel, I will gladly offer myself as father to your children.
I'll pass on that.
All right, but you said Vasily's help and the best gift he could give. I'm not saying that I would be perfect father. I have a lot of issues
I'm aware
with
you
my
would not
brain,
be the perfect father. I'm not even sure I'd be the perfect mother. So really...
Oh, Lydia, a maiden like you, pure as the driven snow.
Exactly.
You have the heart of an angel. You would be perfect mother.
But no, really, I really do think that either we will have the opportunity or he will do it himself. So that would be exactly what you want. We've got an issue with people like Gaines as he was before in the city. Lots of them.
So you mean more vampires?
Yes.
Okay, we can kill vampires. We've killed a few.
Okay.
You'll need me to find out where they are.
Yeah, I do.
Very well. And Gaines fellow, I believe during fight you all had before, if my memory serves, you one of you had managed to injure him.
I'm not certain. Honestly, I had to get my people out.
Well, here's the deal. Chances are Daniel has something of his that's going to be he probably has something that belongs to this guy. Now, chances are it will create sympathetic link that Vasily can use to try to find the others.
That's excellent.
If they're all people that are
yes.
See what I mean?
I see what you mean.
Responded his blood.
Mm-hmm.
Much like me, he doesn't seem like a very good father. But
right.
he went ahead and had the children anyway.
Right.
This is terrible for us.
It is terrible for us. So we need to take care of that.
No, I said terrible. It is lesson. We should not have a union. At least one that involves siring children.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and see this man be murdered. You want Vasily's help? Vasily help.
Okay, thank you.
Do you need weapons or weapons or large amounts of
actually, John, I think made off with most of my have a nice day trick.
John, that motherfucker never reached out to me after all this. He took my entire case of cocaine and did nothing.
Really?
He never got back to this. He never got back to Vasily.
Oh
he
my
never
God.
said, Vasily, thank you for the giant case of cocaine. And his voice is now doing that thing it does where he's speaking loud enough where he doesn't care who's listening around him.
Okay.
I gave him giant case of cocaine.
Okay,
he never
I know.
actually got back to me.
I know. But really, so I could use some more of those, and we might need your...
Okay, oh, grenades.
Mhm.
I thought I wanted to
the
I'm
smiley
sorry.
faces. I love those.
Grenades. Again, Vasily, he has trouble concentrating these days since he got his mojo back.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I kind of did.
This is beautiful.
I kind of did, but I'm very happy for you that you got your mojo back.
Oh, I'm very happy for this too. Did you notice other Russians are no longer here?
Really? What about this
figured out
guy? And she describes the big burly guy.
Oh, he's been dead for quite some time. It's why federal government has been trying to find him. No, he's been dead in most of his other people. Vasily got his mojo back, and he figured out new ways to make it work.
I think he might be one of the vampires.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know, because some guy at a construction place was trying to buy out my place. I totally worked him over and convinced him not to do that. But when
It does not surprise me. You are fairly persuasive.
I am very persuasive. But yes, I was able to kind of figure out who was pulling the strings of that operation, and it was that guy.
I must have had the wrong man. I mean, the wrong man must have died in completely unrelated matters to Vasily.
Of course.
Obviously,
I
Vasily
would
never...
I would never dream of you doing that.
Exactly. Vasily never would have bent space and time to walk into a man's house through his closet and kill him while he slept.
Out of nowhere, a shape comes over and just dumps his drink, just throws his drink right into Vasily's face.
This is not the first time Vasily has had someone throw a drink in his face, and he almost reacts as if he's coming home. He looks up. Who is it?
It's Ricardo. And just looks down at you. You don't see cockroaches out here on the beach too often.
No, and I was just thinking to myself that I'd gone too long without seeing an asshole who probably would be better off dead. And thank you for showing up and saying that Vasily was having too good a day.
You see that he just kind of pulls up his right hand sleeve, and you see there's tattoos that have hermetic circles around them, and he's just like, anytime that you want to go, asshole.
Oh, Daniel, I'm Carlo, whatever, you're all the same. Listen, Vasily has decided that he's going to give you lessons. Huh? See, Vasily, he could have a bunch of people show up at your door with automatic weapons and perforate you in several different ways, but that is a little bit too... I mean, that's what you expect from Vasily, huh? No, see, for you, you do not deserve such straightforward methods, my friend. If Vasily is going to come at you, you're not going to see it coming.
You know, if you guys want to know which one's bigger, just whip them out on the table and I'll measure.
No, it is Vasily. Vasily is big in every way. Both in terms of power and the size of genitals. He's like this.
Give me a stamina check for Vasily, please.
All right, I gotta throw these back on for a second. What is the difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
Oh, I'm going to spend a point of willpower.
Okay.
That would be, I'm pretty sure Vasily's only got a 2 stamina. Yeah, that would be 3 successes with the willpower point.
Okay. Lydia can definitely feel that Ricardo is pulling on the threads.
What the fuck are you doing?
If it is entropy magic, though, I do have counter magic.
It is not. It is not. You.
And literally, Lydia mutters that under her fucking breath. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, and Vasily just vomits immediately.
God damn it! And Lydia grabs her fucking shit. Thanks, asshole. She says that to Ricardo and fucking leaves.
So Vasily is going to, as he's vomiting, stagger forward. And as Carlos no doubt backpedals to try and get away from the vomiting Russian fellow.
Oh, he doesn't at all.
Ricardo doesn't.
Ricardo sees you get up and he just steps into you.
So when he steps into me, Vasily is going to, as he's throwing up, he's going to pull, I'll use Streetwise to do sleight of hand. He's going to pull one of Ricardo's shirt buttons off.
Okay. You don't need to roll sleight of hand because he's actually stabbing you.
Oh, okay, that works.
So you can have
okay. Lydia is going, as she's walking away, she's going to try to befuddle him.
So are we doing combat now?
We're doing combat now because Lydia will kick Ricardo's ass if she has to.
If this is turning into him having a knife in his hand, then this is turning into a fight.
Yeah. So you stagger forward. He tries to stab you. Let's have Lydia roll her arete.
I rolled my arete, and that is 3 successes on mine to befuddle the shit out of him. He gets real damn confused if he doesn't resist it or counter it.
I'm going to try to counter it.
Okay.
Because he does have mind.
And he's going to accidentally slip in the vomit.
Okay. You got 3 successes?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah. I only got 2.
Yeah.
So I'll subtract 2 dice from
And
his dice roll.
with the expenditure of a willpower point,
Mhm.
that's 4 successes on entropy 2
Mm.
to cause him to slip into vomit.
Okay. Subtract 2 more dice from his stabby pool.
Would it be 4 dice because it was 4 successes?
You could go with 4 dice if you just wanted to be an instant thing.
Yeah, it would have been 4 dice.
So he has 1 dice to try and stab you.
That works.
I mean, yeah.
Lydia's
you
got
knocked
you,
it down.
Vasily. Lydia's
Yeah,
got you.
you guys knocked him down from his 7-die pool. But 1 success is enough to stab you. He's not a strong person, so it's only strength plus 1. And out of 3 dice, I got 2 successes. So 2
Can't
lethal.
soak.
You cannot soak lethal because you are a human.
Lydia's walking up to the maitre d' and having them call the police.
Yeah. After the stab, Ricardo's just going to run away.
So before he does, I want to bite him.
Strength and
There
brawl.
is a point to there's a method to my madness.
Yeah, I got you. Do strength and brawl, and I'll say that you're at a -2 die from the vomiting.
Okay. And he's still at a -4 from between the befuddlement and the slipping.
Yeah.
So
he's just
he said he's not trying to dodge. So
no, you just got to get 1 success to
point of willpower because I can do that. And that's 2 successes.
Okay. So roll your strength plus 1 for damage.
And I believe teeth are considered teeth lethal or bludgeoning if you're not a vampire.
They're bludgeoning.
If you're ever all right. Human. So that would be 2 successes because I don't add that.
Yeah, 2 successes. So you don't break skin, but you do bite into him. You hear him just kind of like, "Get off me, you sick bastard!"
Did I scrape the skin? Basically, do I have anything between my teeth that once belonged to him?
Maybe like a piece of his shirt.
Perfect.
But he starts running. And people are screaming. Like he still has a knife in his hand, which is one of those flip knives, and he just kind of gives Lydia this dirty look as he runs by her. And as he runs off into the streets, and Vasily is left bleeding from his gut and vomiting, I think this is a good point to call tonight.
Oh, poor Carlos is in for a world of
Yeah, he is. Because Jesus Christ, Lydia's trying to work a connection that's needed to save this fucking city, and Ricardo's just going around fucking it up.
Well, unfortunately, Vasily now has something that was in contact with Carlos. Vasily has a ton of correspondence and an army of thugs.
Yep. So let's see how far Shanky is from the mic.
What? I'm right here.
Oh. Magical.
Hello, everybody. I am the disembodied voice of Shanky that is floating around here. As we do our outro, I'd like to thank all the viewers for coming to watch, and I'd like to thank, of course, the storyteller, Ravnos Archon. You will love it. For running this game, of course, Rev Ben Powers, my beautiful wife, and Zeddy the Troublemaker, Tom Paradox Castrogano over there, for being in the game, of course. If you like what we're doing, pop over to the Discord. We cast this show straight from the Discord. We cast all our shows from the Discord, and you might get a chance to play with us. And even if you don't want to play with us, we got a great group of people. We do weekly Zoom hangouts. From time to time, we do non-streamed community party games that Ben conveniently never attends. But, that's just Ben. He's like that. I had to do it to you. Of course, if you want to catch our back episode, pop over to YouTube. You can catch well, the first 2 seasons of Mage right over on our YouTube. You can catch the previous episodes of this season on the YouTube. You can check our Windy City After Dark. It's on the YouTube. Basically, check out all these YouTubes. It's got a number of our previous streams that have been on this channel. If you want to catch some other great content creators, check out our friends. One of them is Storyteller. So pop over to Ravnos Archon stream. He streams a few nights a week. Monday is his big vampire over at his place. And he alternates Camarilla and Anarch, which is an interesting way to do it. So I'll give him a chance to shout out his stuff here in a minute as we're going through all this. If you want to give something to the players, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to Relin or the studio. If you want to support the studio, of course, you can give pop over to our KoFi or give us a subscribe here on Twitch. Doesn't really matter. Either one. Oh, if you want to get some merch, we've got McStabber Studios merch, all kinds of merch. We need some Mage merch. We'll figure some Mage merch out. But get your merch. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her portion of the outro.
Well, first I'm going to let Ravnos Archon talk about what he streams on his channel.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys. Like Shanky said, I do Vampire on Mondays. I am enjoying our Mage game, and I'm sad that there's only 1 episode left of this season. But you will see me in the Werewolf game as an actual player. I miss Eyes of the Creek, but I think you guys will enjoy this new character that I have coming up. And then Friday, I alternate between Star Wars and D&D. And one Saturday a month, I try to do a one-shot where I get to showcase a different game. And I think this Saturday, I'm going to showcase Kids on Bikes because I love it.
Love that game.
So pop over to Ravnos Archon's Twitch channel. Get you some Star Wars, some D&D, and some Kids on Bikes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And coming up over the next week, first, I want to thank you all so much for joining us for Mage, our 3rd episode of fourth. I know. It's gone by so
quick.
fucking fast. So yeah, our 4th episode of the season. And join us next week, of course, on Tuesday evening for the, I'm sure, stunning finale that Will is going to cook up for us, or has already cooked up for us. It's going to be crazy, I know. And that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday next week. Coming up on Saturday is at, hang on, let me double check. What's the date? Because daylight savings time is stupid. Okay, so on the 26th, on Saturday, it's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, is London Esoteric Society, Call of Cthulhu, 7E. Join them for crazy, crazy, crazy investigation in Victorian London that ties to weird-ass freaking stuff, for real. That's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, we are doing Windy City After Dark, Season 6. It's Episode 3. It's going to be on Sunday. I hear that, Zal's missing. Somebody might know something about that next episode.
Yep, we're going to have a special guest.
Special guest.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
New appearance of another guest player.
Mm-hmm.
So watch out for that shit. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure many other things will be addressed during it because, that coterie tends to get shit done. So join us at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday for that.
Unlike this circle.
I know, right?
Well, you get shit done to you.
No, Lydia's getting shit done. She's making those connections. She's getting people to come in.
Tom's still hanging.
I'm still hanging from a
Abram's the useless one.
I'm hanging on a ladder right now outside of my window.
And as we always end these streams, everyone, please take your mental health seriously. Check in on friends, check in on your family, check in on loved ones, check in on those around you. Please make sure they're okay because a lot of people aren't. And sometimes it just takes somebody reaching out and asking, are you okay? To pull them off the ledge. They just need that little lifeline, that little hand reaching out or to know somebody cares. And if you do suffer from mental health issues like many of us do, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with admitting you need help. We all need help sometime. And if you do need mental help and you don't feel you can reach out to those around you, please, right now in chat, there's a list of names and numbers. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can call or text. and you can get the kind of help you need because, mental health is health, everybody. And we all need somebody to talk to once in a while, and we all need that little lifeline. And we take that very seriously because we want you all to be with us, whether you watch the show or not. We want you all to be with us. So please, everyone, take care of yourself. Yes, Ben.
I wasn't really going to go into this on the Discord, but I can tell you from firsthand experience that posting these lines does help if you're in a rough situation. Recently, I availed myself of them, and sometimes it's exactly what you need. Things are rough for a lot of people, and sometimes, especially those of us who feel like we're a burden to our friends who are going through enough on their own, and we don't want to add our own stuff to their stuff. It's that impartial ear is sometimes a good thing. So just, it's a good thing we post these. I'm glad that they're posted, and they do help if you really need it. So didn't want to hijack, but I kind of wanted to chime in.
Appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. Please, if that's what you're going to hijack away.
Please. Appreciate you sharing that, because really that's what those lines are for, folks. And again, the link we have in chat right now, findahelpline.com, they cover over 140 countries. So truly, you are likely to find the help you need and wherever you live. But if by chance your country isn't covered, Google is your friend. Please Google your country and helplines. And you should be able to find something in your location that can assist you if you need that help. And I'm Mama McStabber, Relindair. I'm a registered nurse. A lot of people, I tell a lot of people I'm the nicest mean nurse you'll ever meet. I do what I do because I love people and I want to care for people. And I'm a helper. And it's truly important that we treat everyone with dignity, with respect, and with love and compassion. And right now, there is, I believe, still a bundle going on Itch.io that helps support the Texas trans youth and initiatives that help support them. Please consider spending $5 on a bundle of like 500 TTRPGs and solo journaling games and things like that to help support that cause, because there is absolutely nothing humane about denying care and splitting families up over this. It is a violation of human rights. So please, please try to help if you can. Also, I'm going to tell you, please go get your COVID shot. Please. If you've gotten fully vaccinated, consider getting boosted. I know it's optional, but consider it, because the boosting actually helps you resist significant illness, even from variants. So please get yourself boosted if you've been fully vaccinated. If you haven't been fully vaccinated, please go get your shots. Please. We are seeing a decrease in numbers because more and more people are fully vaccinated and or boosted. So that's why the numbers are decreasing. It hasn't gone anywhere. And as long as people are unvaccinated that can get vaccinated, it's never going to go anywhere. So please go get vaccinated if you can. Said with love, because I care.
And as I like to say here lately, fuck Putin. Please don't take it out on the Russian restaurants in your area and the Russian people in your area.
Right.
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
Fuck Putin. I know I've seen a lot of reports of some rising hostilities towards Russian-owned businesses.
That's
in
not
this
okay.
country, and that's not okay. That's not how we as Americans should be operating. So please, don't do that. And from the cast of this amazing show, damn, one episode left, everybody. But the World of Darkness Tuesday takeovers will continue.
Because Werewolf is coming up after this one ends.
Yep. When this is over, next week is the last one, then Werewolf kicks off. And when Werewolf is done, Demon the Fallen kicks off.
Yep.
So the Tuesday takeover continues, everybody. So from the cast, or from the studio itself, because I'm not in the cast of this one, I thank you all for coming. Good night, everybody.
All right.